Hello students, today we will study about sexual reproduction of plants. We are studying chapter 12, that is reproduction in plants. So about asexual reproduction we have studied in first video. In this video we will study about sexual reproduction in plants. Whatever plant parts are there, they are of two types, vegetative parts and reproductive parts. So vegetative parts are the root, stem, leaves, and reproductive part is flower. If it is asked the reproductive part of the plant, then you will tell flower, and if it is asked reproductive part of the male reproductive part of the flower, then the stamen, and if it is asked female reproductive part of the plant flower, that is pistil. So flowers, some of the flowers bear only either male part or female part. So that type of flowers are called unisexual flowers. Unisexual or dioecious. Unisexual or dioecious. Osseous means house. So if they are found in separate flowers, means male part and female parts are found in the separate flowers, so that type of flowers are called dioecious flowers, or unisexual flowers, means they have only either male or female part. And the flowers which bear both male and female parts, they are called bisexual flower, bisexual or monoecious. Monoecious, mono means one, osseous means house, means both male and female part are found in the same flower. That type of flowers are called monoecious flowers or bisexual flowers. In some of the animals also, male and female reproductive part are found in the same body, so they are called hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite means the organisms which bear both male and female part in the same body, they are called hermaphrodite. So hermaphrodite example is earthworm, leech. These are the hermaphrodite organisms that bear both a male and female part in the same body. So in flowers there are two types, unisexual and bisexual. Unisexual are also called dioecious, and they bear only either male or female part, and bisexual are also called monoecious. They bear both male and female part. So here I have drawn a generalized diagram of bisexual flower. If it is asked to draw the diagram of a flower, then you will draw the generalized diagram, means that should have both male and female part, means all the parts should be present in the flower. So in flower, whatever stalk by which the flower is attached, that is called pedicel, and the stalk of leaf is called petiole. The stalk of leaf is called, there should not be confusion, the stalk of leaf is called petiole and the stalk of flower is called pedicel. And at where all the flower parts are attached, that a little swollen part is there, that is called receptacle. And the receptacle, all the parts of the flower are attached. The outermost hole of the flower, that is in bud state, that covers the inner part of the flower, so they are called sepals. They are here singular is sepal or plural is sepals, and all the sepals collectively called calyx. Sepals means one. They are called sepals, and collectively that whole is called calyx. Their function is to protect the flower, inner part of the flower during bud stage. They are green in color. So when the flower is not open, at that time, that is in bud stage, then in the bud stage the sepals protect the inner part of the flower, means they are function is for the protection of inner part of the flower. Inside that, the second hole is, that is of petals. They are the petals. Petals give color to the flower. Whatever color of petals are there, that color of flower will be there. And these petals are the most attractive part of the flower. Most attractive part of the plant is flower, and most attractive part of the flower is petals, because petals are colorful, they give color to the flower, and they have been made naturally so attractive to attract the insects for the process of pollination. And this is necessary part of the sexual reproduction in plants. So for the pollination, petals attract to the insects so that pollination can take place. What is pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma. Pollen grains are what? Pollen grains are formed into the anther. Here inside that, when the pollen grains get mature, then the anthers comes out and they are transferred to the stigma. So that is necessary in the sexual reproduction in plants. So pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma. This pollination is of two types: cross pollination and self pollination. If the pollen grains of the anther of the same plant, same flower, fall at the stigma of the same flower, or pollen grains of the stigma of the other flower, means one flower fall at the stigma of the other flower of the same plant, then it is self pollination. And if the pollen grains of one flower fall at the stigma of the other flower of other plant of same kind, that is cross pollination. So petals are attractive for making the flowers. Petals are attractive for attracting the insects. So the role of petals is to attract the insects after pollination. There is no role of that. And after that, there is the stamen, that is the male part of the flower. The stalk of the stamen, stalk is called filament, and the knob-like structure at the top, that is called anther. Anther, in the anther, pollen grains develop, and pollen grains are the very minute structures which are formed in the anther, and they have male gametes. Male gametes means male cell. Male cell is found in the pollen grains, and female cell is found in the ovule, that is present in the ovary. So when the pollen grains come out, means after maturing the anther, that ruptures and pollen grains come out, and after that pollination take place. That I have told you already, that transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma is called pollination. After pollination, there is no need of stamen also, and the innermost at the center there is pistil. The parts of pistil is stigma, the topmost part is, that is stigma, the neck-like structure, that is style, and solen part is, that is ovary. Inside that ovary there are small structures, that is, they are called ovules. So ovules have female cell, means female gamete. So after pollination, when pollen grains reach to the stigma of the pistil, then there is no need of stamen, petals and sepals. They start to dry and they start to fall down. And after pollination, whatever pistil is there, remaining parts start to dry and they start to fall down, and these pollen grains which reach to the stigma, the upper part is sticky, so they stick with that, and that stimulate for producing a tube-like structure, that is called pollen tube. Pollen tube start to grow inside the pistil through the style. It reaches to the ovules, and these pollen tubes carry the male cell for the fertilization. That male cell fuse with the female cell present into the ovule. That process is called fertilization. That process is called fertilization. Means the process of fusion of male and female cell is called fertilization. After fertilization, there is no need of stigma and style. They start to dry and they start to fall down, and then only ovary is left, and at last this ovary convert into fruit, that converts into fruit, and ovules whatever are there, they convert into seed. Okay, and after that this style and stigma dry and fall down. So only ovary is left, that convert into fruit. And ovules convert into seeds. And when this fruit get mature and seeds also get mature inside the fruit, when the fruits comes out from the seeds comes out from the fruit, when they get favorable condition, they grow into new plants. So this is the process of sexual reproduction in the plants, in which seed formation is there. If seeds are used for growing new plants, it means that is the sexual reproduction. Now seed dispersal. Seed dispersal is the scattering of seeds away from the parent plant. That is necessary. That is because plant bear many fruits, and every fruit have seeds, and if all the seeds will fall at the base of the tree or plant, then there will be collection of seeds, and whatever seed will be there, if they are left for growing there, so they will not get sufficient space, sufficient nutrients for the growth in a healthy plant. So that's why there is need to scatter them. Nature has arranged for their dispersal. The seeds are transferred by various agents such as wind, water, animals. So these are the various agents by which dispersal of seed take place. Whatever seeds are lightweight, they bear wing-like structures or hairy structures. In that, dispersal of seed take place by winds, such as the maple seed, maple, drumstick, dandelion, that is a grass in which seed is very light, that bears hairy structure, white hairy structures, that seeds float into the air, that is so light, so that is blown away by air away from the parent plant. So in these plants, some more examples are there. In these plants, scattering of seed take place by the wind. In some plants which grow either near to the water body or inside the water, so in that transfer of means scattering of seed take place by water, that is coconut, lotus, lily. So in these plants reproduction take place, in these plants scattering of seed take place by the water, flowing water carry the coconut seed away from the parent plant, and wherever that get soil, that get favorable condition, that grow there. So seeds are scattered by water also, and animals also help in scattering the seeds. Some of the seeds which have hook-like structures like xanthium, tiger nail, so in that scattering of seed take place by animals. Xanthium, tiger nail. So in these animals, these plants, transfer of seed take place by animals. They have hook-like structures. These hook-like structures entangle in the hair of animals, and animals carry it away from the parent plant, and wherever they rub, their body, that fall there and that grow. Some of the fruits are eaten by the birds as a whole, like neem seed, neem fruit. The juicy part of that is digested by the bird, but the seed do not digest it. And when they defecate, the seeds are fall there and that grow there. When favorable condition they get. Sometimes you may have seen that small plants of neem or people plant that grow at a roof in rainy season. So that is because seeds are transferred by the birds there. When they defecate there, the seeds reach there and they grow there in the rainy season. So this is how by the various means dispersal of seed take place. So this was about this chapter. Once you will read the chapter, whatever question will be there, that you will ask. Thank you.